Creating new opportunities for trade through the Arctic will be the most crucial part of Russia's economic growth. As the ice melts and makes new shipping routes possible that were not possible before, Russia has set out to create a golden trade route through the Arctic. This is because the Arctic route is much shorter than the traditional shipping routes that pass through the Suez Canal, so ships can reach their destinations much more quickly and efficiently. In this video, we explore the surprising ways in which global warming is driving economic growth in Russia, from the melting of the Arctic ice to the opening up of new shipping routes. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more informative videos. To understand Russia's plan thoroughly, we need to look at the current shipping routes between Asia and the West. As you may already know, Russia is geographically located between Europe and Asia, right along the Suez trade route, a crucial route for ships traveling between Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. 13% of all container traffic and 12% of all trade globally go through this route, but it is 13,000 miles long. To give you a better understanding of how this route works, let's say a ship carrying Chinese goods is headed to England. It would first travel through the Strait of Malacca, then across the Indian Ocean, passing through the Bab el-Mandeb Pass, going through the Suez Canal, and finally reaching the Strait of Gibraltar. Currently, more than 30% of all crude oil traded at sea passes through it. This route connects suppliers in Africa and the Persian Gulf with markets in Asia. This makes it an important hub for black gold. But in March 2021, the world saw just how vital it was when a massive container ship, the Ever Given, got stuck in the canal, causing delays of at least a week and costing an estimated $14 million to $15 million per day. And the US has a lot of power over the global supply of crude oil because it can block the Strait of Malacca. During military conflicts in East or Southeast Asia, the US blocked it once before. This blockade seriously affected the economy of China. China's strategic oil stocks probably wouldn't last more than 60 days. In the meantime, the US is trying to start an economic war by making energy prices go up artificially on the financial market. So, for any reason, if you want to avoid the Suez trade route, you must take the longer path around the Cape of Good Hope, which encircles the entire continent of Africa before reaching Britain. This path is much more time-consuming, adding an additional 5,500 kilometers to the journey. But did you know there is an alternative, shorter route? It is the Northern Sea Route, Russia's fortune maker, which spans just 8,000 miles. Yes, the route is only 8,000 miles long, making it the quickest and most effective. But you may have asked me, why does this shortest route not see nearly as much shipping as the other options? Yes, it is a good question. Let us give the answer. You know the Arctic Ocean is covered in ice, and regular ships can't navigate through it, so it needs icebreaker ships to break the ice, which takes time and money. And it's also hard to estimate how long it will take to reach the destination when you don't know how much ice there will be. That's why it could not become popular, despite being a shorter route to connect Asia to the West. But things have changed now. Global warming is affecting the Suez Canal and Panama Canal due to rising sea levels, which affect container port terminals and port infrastructure. Moreover, alternate routes such as a rail land bridge from China across Eurasia to Europe and a marine route between Asian ports and Europe that goes around the Cape of Good Hope could become the only options. Now things start to get interesting. The Arctic is seeing some of the worst effects of climate change because of global warming. Recent studies have shown that the rate of Arctic warming is 4 times faster than previously thought. Even though this is a crisis of the whole world and the environment, Russia sees it as a chance to bring back a shipping route from the Soviet era. As the ice melts, the Northern Sea Route may be open all year, and Putin's government has been building many facilities along the Arctic Ocean's shore. Putin said, "I want to stress the importance of the Northern Sea Route as an international transport artery that will rival traditional trade lanes in service fees, security, and quality." He also said, "States and private companies that choose the Arctic trade routes will undoubtedly reap economic advantages." Russia has set aside a huge $29 billion to develop the Arctic shipping route by 2035, including building new ports and expanding rail lines, so it can take advantage of this promising opportunity. This is a smart move that shows how Russia wants to secure itself and take advantage of the benefits of a world that is changing quickly. The biggest benefit is that it saves a lot of shipping costs and cuts down on delivery time. While the Suez Canal route can take 27 days to cover 13,000 miles at a cost of $4.32 million, the Northern Sea spans a mere 8,000 miles and takes 16 days to cover this distance. The cost would be a mere $2.656 million. Annually, a business owner can save approximately $16 million per vessel on his shipping costs just by using the route. This is a reason why traders would again love to shift to the Northern Sea route. This would not only boost Russia's economy, but also benefit other nations like China that invest in this Arctic trade route, as they see significant financial returns. Simultaneously, the creation of this trade route is part of Russia's larger plan to tap into the vast natural resources that are found in the Arctic region. As the ice melts, it reveals oil and gas reserves that were hard to get to before. Russia wants to use these reserves. In addition to oil and gas, the Arctic region is also rich in minerals such as nickel, copper, and gold, which could help boost Russia's economy. Since the ice in the Arctic is melting, it has become a place where many economic and military interests meet. Major countries around the world, including the USA, Canada, and Finland, are also interested in the idea of making a new trade route through the Arctic and taking control. They are trying to stop Russia from getting an unfair advantage in this race to control the Arctic. Meanwhile, Russia has been planning, since the end of the Cold War, to set up a strong presence in the area. Russia's plan to create a golden trade route through the Arctic is not just about economic gain, but also about strategic interests. Russia and China are working together more and more. This could be seen as a joint effort to reduce the power of the West, especially the United States, in the region. As the main place where goods are shipped from Asia to the West, China sees the Arctic route as a way to avoid the current shipping routes and save money on shipping costs. Russia and China's combined efforts can lead to the formation of a new world order where the balance of power shifts from the West to the East. Russia's plan to update its military and infrastructure in the Arctic is another sign of what it wants to do there in the long run. This country wants to keep its dominance in the area and make sure it has full control over the Arctic trade route. The United States may not be able to put pressure on Russia through the Arctic trade routes as it passes mostly near Russian landmasses. Also, controlling the trade of the Arctic's untapped oil and natural gas reserves is an important part of Russia's plan. As the ice melts, it will be easier to get to these reserves, and Russia wants to be the first and maybe the only power to explore and get them. This will give Russia a significant economic advantage over other countries. The West knows what Russia wants to do and is trying to stop it from getting an unfair advantage in the Arctic. However, Russia's long-term strategic planning and the growing collaboration with China may give it the upper hand in this race for control over the Arctic region. It remains to be seen how the balance of power will shift in the coming years and what impact it will have on the world. As we've seen, global warming is bringing both opportunities and challenges to Russia. What do you think are the potential long-term consequences of Russia's increased influence in the Arctic region? And how do you think this will impact the global economy and the balance of power among nations? Please let us know in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more interesting and informative videos.